pick up on one or two areas, and then we would have a conversation around it to understand what is happening in the market, and how to prepare for it. Because from my own perspective, from the on-chain analysis to the macro environment, the bear market might just be here to stay for a while. Okay, the bear market might just be here to stay for a while, except we see a significant fundamental news. And despite the fact of the sentimental news we've been hearing, India legalizing crypto, Arizona pushing for making crypto a legal tender, and some other news out there, we still see that BTC is not, responding drastically, to those news, and deeply obeying fundamentals analysis. So, how long will this last? Okay, so the talk of this evening wouldn't be something that is long. Probably in 30 minutes time we should be done. In 20 minutes time we should be done. I just wanted us to understand one or two things. Okay. Now, so I'm sure many of us have heard about the derivative market, right? So for those who don't know what derivative means, you've heard about futures trading. Like, someone tells you, I'm trading futures, I'm trading Bitcoin futures, I'm trading this, I'm trading that, right? So that derivative is an asset or a security that derives its value from an underlying asset. So you see BTC on its own, right, as an asset, BTC as an asset. Now we now have BTC perpetual futures, right? Now that BTC perpetual futures is not the original BTC, but is like an asset that is derived, that is created to derive its value from the original BTC, right? Now, we now see that more persons actually are now moving into trading futures. Now, this has also impacted the price and the movement of BTC, okay? And that's because of the larger volume of money coming into the market through the futures market. Sometimes you see when a bear market suddenly happens, you see that some people will say, reach out to your friends trading trading crypto, and anything like wish them sorry or sympathize with them, something like that. It's not just for those who bought a crypto in the sports market, but also those who, particularly those who are trading the crypto market, like they are trading BTC on like the features, okay, the derivative asset of BTC, right? Now, because that market is very volatile, and like I said, it also brings in volume, right? And this volume impacts the movement of BTC as well. But in recent times, we've seen that this volume keeps dropping. This volume keeps dropping. Can this also be an indicator to the bearish movement? Does this also impact the bearish movement? That is what we want to also look into. Okay, so I'll just share my screen and do a little technical analysis and introduction, and then we look at one or two charts from the platform I'll be using. So I would like to share my screen from here. Never going back. Oh. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me know if you can see my screen, please. Just drop it in the comment section. Let me check it out.
Yes, sir.
I
We
want
can
to
see your
confirm
screen.
if you can see my screen, so that yeah. Who is dropping me a message now? Can you see my screen? Can anybody hear me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Now, are you seeing the trading view? I want to be sure my screen is moving. You can see trading view BTC USDT, and I drew on the chart, and I wrote it 82 days there. Can you see it? Okay. Now,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so you can see from this is trading view. Now, from here, we saw that the market spent over 82 days going down, right? 82 days going down. Okay. Now, 82 days in a bear market, right? From here, from 69K, okay, down to first got to this level, right? That it got to 46K, and people were like, it go up, it will go up. And then it did like it was going to go up, okay? And then we went to 52 after going down to from 45K, went to 52, then starts dashing down, okay? Now, the same thing it did here, trying to form like it's going to go bullish, is what is also doing here, right? So now, will this lead to a breakout that would give us a bullish movement, or will this proceed in the bearish direction and even go as deep as 35K, 32K, 30K, 25,000, right? Now, so I want to just run some so we'll now go and check out some on-chain analysis. And okay, so one thing on-chain tools provides us is that it provides us insight, right? On-chain tool tells us what is really happening at the back end, right? What is really happening at the back end? What is going on? What is moving this, macro bearish outlook? So let's check out Glassnode. Okay, it's loading. Okay, now let's look at, though some of this package you might not be able to access it because there are some of which are premium package, so we have to pay some amount of dollars to be able to access those heavy information. But let's look at the little one that's at our disposal. Okay, let's look at the little one at our disposal. So now the ones at our disposal, now we want to look at active addresses, right? Active addresses. Okay, this tells us the number of active Bitcoin address that are active. Are they increasing or are they, reducing? Okay. So if you for those who want to play around this platform. So if you look at this page now, it tells you addresses with non-zero balance, right? Then addresses with balance greater than or equals to 0.01 BTC. Addresses with balance equals to greater than or equals to 0.1 BTC. This one is greater than or equals to 1, greater than or equals to 10. So you want to look at who is the number of persons holding 10k BTC, 1k BTC, 100k BTC, 10 BTC, 1 BTC, 0.001 BTC, 0.01 BTC. Okay, so but now we'll look at the number of active Bitcoin addresses. Okay, now from here we can see that the number of active Bitcoin addresses dropped. That's after sustained increase from 2019 up to 2021 January 7, right? So there was a drop in the number of active Bitcoin addresses and the fluctuation here. The active Bitcoin address is the orange line, right? So we see a fall here, right? Which means some addresses went inactive, and then we saw a push up here. Then after this 12th of May 2001, we saw that the number of active addresses started falling, right? The number of active addresses started falling, up until 2021 July 24, when it started picking up, a bit. And currently we still have it in this area, still navigating, which means still below its previous high, right? Still below its previous high, which means at this point now, there were more people with active BTC address in May 12, 2021 than there are people with active BTC address in January 31st, right? So let's say in January 31st, there is look at the number of persons, 895,049 addresses, right? Active addresses. Whereas in last year May, there were 1.2 million 33,648 active addresses. Now that's a serious decline there, and we want to take note of that. Okay, so I would jump straight to this. Okay, so I got this, but I wanted to use their what is it called, their platform for checking out this thing. But then I'll just use their newsletter so that I can use this image. Now we can see that this shows Bitcoin futures volume. So with 7 days exponential moving average. Now, when we think about exponential moving average, 7 days exponential moving average, it will take seven different let me use like this now. It will use 7 different days, right? Now it will add up all the volumes of 7 different days and divide it by 7, right? So that's how moving average is being calculated. So now we can see that in the futures market, right, where larger volumes do come in, we can see that there have been a decline, right? There have been a decline from May. Okay, so this is March. Okay, There has been a decline from March. Don't forget, the number of active users also started declining from around that period, right? This is around this period of March, around this period of May, right? So we see that the number of features, the volume of Bitcoin traded in features started declining. Now, as at March 2021, right? As of March 2021, we have over 80 billion volumes traded in a day. 80 billion volumes traded in a day. Now, interestingly, as at August to November, as at August to November, if I'm not mistaken. As at May, right? May to July, we saw that the number of volumes traded in a day dropped from 80 billion to 60 billion, right? Now, and currently, the volume traded in a day is now at $40 billion per day. That's like more than half. That's like half of what was being traded a few months ago or something. Yeah, March 2021, right? March 2021, we have $80 billion being traded per day, BTC, in the futures market. Now, we're now at 40k billion per day in the futures market. So this spells a lot. Okay. Now that there's now there's been a massive decline, 50% decline from March, right, to January 2022. 50% decline is a lot. Okay. Now, so this has already been a bearish signal. Okay, a bearish signal. Now, let's take a look at this. Okay. Now, this tells us the futures perpetual funding rate. Right? The futures perpetual funding rate of all exchanges. Like, who are depositing? Is money coming in? Are people funding their account, to trade BTC? Right? So, if you look at between the period of May to June 2021, we saw a decline in the funding rate. And then at the period of August, we saw an increase in the funding rate. Okay. Now, currently, as I look at December 4th, many of us remember that as at that time, the market started, nosediving. As at that time. So if you look at it, as at December, from the Bitcoin trend, which is the dark line, the black line, you see that it was around 50k region, right? Now, but there was a decline in the funding rate here. See a sharp drop. Look at it from October to November. You can see that there was an increase. People were trading, funding their account, and then as at December, funding rates dropped, right? And then from that moment, it has been struggling. Okay, and you can see that after that drop in funding rate, the price of BTC also, started, what is it called? Correlating in that region, and then started declining. And as you can see with that red chart, that red symbol telling us that there's also a decline in funding rate. That's as at January 2020. Okay, January 2020. There's also a decline in funding rate. Now, so these are indications that cash flow is leaving. Okay. Now this is more of options and features, as we have explained. Okay, options open interest. So now, what's the open interest of put and call? Because there are also what we call options trading in crypto, right? So there has also been a massive decline in that area, but then there was a peak. There was a peak at January this year. There was a peak at January this year, increasing put options, 59% after a decline of 41%. Okay. So, talking about this, we can also see that in the features long liquidity dominance. Now, we have a lot of persons who took a buy, and the volume of those who short the market, right, at this point here. Okay. Now, and as at November, we saw a lot of persons, were liquidated when they bought. Those who had long positions were liquidated out of the market, right? Even as at this period, to those who had long positions were liquidated March to July, right? And then those who hold short positions from August to October were also liquidated. Okay, this is just okay. All right, let's I think I have one picture I want to share. Okay. Wait to I'm coming. I don't know. Can you see the picture I'm sharing now? Let me know if you can see the picture I'm sharing now. Sorry, can anybody see the picture I'm sharing? Okay. Okay, sorry, it's trying to load. Okay. Now, look at the features open interest leverage ratio. Now, at this point, we'll be spotting short squeeze and long squeeze. Okay, so from December, as at December 2021, a lot of persons longed the market, right? A lot of persons longed the market. Look at this. We are looking at this orange line now. A lot of persons longed the market, but there was a short squeeze here. Now, what a short squeeze means is like a sudden decline. You get in the market price, a sudden decline in the market price. When there is a sudden decline in the market price, that indicates a consistent sell-off, right? A consistent sell-off, that is short squeeze, which means everybody was buying in the euphoria of buying, but all of a sudden, nobody saw it coming. Then a sell happened, and you look at it, it was a short squeeze. Then the market fell from the 40K, the 50K to 60K region, the 60 to 50K region, down to the 30K region, right? And then we saw another further short squeeze. Then the market went up here. So in this place now, people started buying, right? And there was a long squeeze. Okay, which means people people who short the market, right, got squeezed out because the moment they short the market peaked, right? That's a long squeeze. Now they were expecting a further decline in the price of BTC, but there was a long squeeze where the market price peaked, right? And then they were taking off the market. Okay, same thing happened there. Now we can now see some kind of signs here that there is either, look at from this orange line now, there is either going to be a decline in price while people are anticipating a pump. Okay, so there might be a long squeeze. Of course, long squeeze are already happening, but there might be a long squeeze for those who are anticipating a further increase in price, right? And there might also be a short squeeze for those who are anticipating a further decline in price. Okay, because what we are doing now, we are trying to forecast the future. We don't know of a certain if there would be a long a bull market anytime soon, or if the bear market would continue for a long time. Okay, but all we know is that the market currently is in a bear movement, right? And from all indications, there might be a consistent decline in price, and those who have opened a long position might be squeezed out of the market. So which goes to show that we should all trade with care, right? Everything I'm saying here is not a financial advice. Okay, it's not a financial advice, and that means that we should use our discretion. Okay, all right. So I would like to stop here, and we can then take some dive into technical analysis, or if anyone have any question, you can always ask your question. So is there any question? Okay, does anyone have a question? If you have a question, you can unmute yourself. If you don't have a question, it's fine. Okay, I think there's something interesting that we also need to look at here. And the interesting thing is that exchange inflow volumes have also been on a decline. Exchange inflow volume have also been on a decline. Okay, so I'll stop here. Any further question or clarity or whatsoever? So if you look at this closely, right? Let's play around some analysis here and look out for possible market currents. Okay. So something interesting would happen, and that interesting thing is that BTC would fall to 35K and possibly to 30K, right? So from macroeconomic perspective, the bear market would continue, right? The bear market would continue when US starts increasing their interest rate and starts selling, stops buying, assets, we would see a mop up of cash in the market, right? The crypto market will become less attractive to investors who prefer the fixed income market, right? So when interest rates increase, some investors who trade with higher volume and only considered crypto because the the fixed income market was less attractive because of the small interest rate. Now, when interest rate is increased, investors would now see the fixed income market, the bonds, the treasury bill, the commercial papers, they would now see them more attractive. So instead of putting money in crypto, they would prefer putting their money in those fixed income assets with less risk, right? Now, what would happen, or what does that spells out? That spells out that cash would leave the crypto market, cash would leave the stock market and flow to the fixed income market, right? That one is on its own. Then, for the fact that the Fed will stop buying assets, from March, and also they will increase interest rate by March. All those things are going round and round in the head of investors, and they are looking at it that isn't it risky to put their money in stocks when the market would still experience a further decline. Okay, so for me, uh, I'm looking at BTC at 30. Okay, that's just for me, and that's my opinion actually. So I'm looking at BTC at 30, right now. And when I'm looking at BTC at 30, I'm also looking at other coins that are correlating with the Bitcoin price, like the BNB, the Polkadot, um, Solana, Ethereum, and those ones with large market cap, they are correlating with BTC. Okay, so I'm seeing BTC at 30k. Okay, I'm seeing Ethereum at 1,005, or less, right? That might not happen, you get, but that's just what I see. And from everything, I'm seeing a market decline, further dump in the market. I'm seeing this as a bull trap, right? As people who would end up longing and being squeezed out, right? They'll be short squeezed, out of the market. Okay. So, however, if BTC crosses the 41k mark, this is 41k mark. Okay, if BTC crosses the 41k mark, okay, there would most likely be a continuous increase in price. It might not be immediate, but it will just be gradual, right? That's from my own perspective, right? From my own analysis. Okay. Because of course we saw something similar happen at this region, right? And then there was just some correlation, and price was just ranging at this region, and we can see what happened here. Price peaked, right? When price peaked up and broke out of the 40k region. For those who have attended, my forex training before, where I talked about support and resistance level. So when there is a major breakout, right, there will always be a pullback. Okay, let me zoom in so that you guys can see what I'm saying. So when there is a major breakout at this region, right, which is a key resistance level. So when there's a major breakout at this key resistance level, right, my price might come to retest, right? And in some instances, price might not retest it and just keep going. So we can see that what happened there, price came to retest this place, and then price kept going up. Then it got to this place because this place was already a critical resistance level also. It respected that level and dropped significantly. Then went back, dropped back to this resistance level, now turned support level. Okay. Then before it starts moving up and broke out of this region and continued its move. Now, the same scenario might happen here. You get, I don't know, you get, but the same scenario might happen here. So there are two scenarios I'm looking at now. Now, it's either price breaks out of this region and breaks and crosses the 41k mark, then my bearish outlook might change a bit, right? But if it cannot cross this place, then I'm expecting a further decline to 30k, right? A further decline to 35k, then down to 30k. Okay. And if care is not taken, probably we'll be seeing 27k and 25k. So thank you very much for showing up today. So that's all about the on-chain analysis. Yes, there are more, and I hope that you would keep on. You can just search online like understanding on-chain analysis. So this is more or less like trying to introduce you to what on-chain analysis is, looking at the back end, what's happening at the back end, numbers of addresses, numbers of active users, the looking at the graph, is there an acceleration in orders of BTC? I would have shown you further because I've not subscribed to this plan because the plan is quite it's quite, let me say, is around $900 and something to actually access some other informations, right? So I would only need it if I'm using it to make more money. So you get, so but then I'm not really using it at the moment, but probably when I'm really um having to use it to work for someone, and then I know that okay, I'm subscribing and using it to generate funds. But then I would have showed you because in there are more and more and more informations, information, so that you will get to see. Okay, that you get to see number of addresses coming in and out, XJM derivatives. You get to know number of exchanges, volumes traded in those exchanges, fees coming into BTC, fees coming into Ethereum, institutional holders, institutions who are holding BTC. You can even change it. It's not only BTC. You can change it. To Ethereum, Litecoin, other cryptos like that to get better insight. Right, better insight. And then you can also, it's not like they paid me, but you can also go and check them on YouTube, and follow them, watch their videos, understand what on-chain analysis is, so you get the best. All right, thank you very much. This session is brought to you by FinSmart, and then we are dedicated to sharing knowledge, and we hope that this knowledge are taken with open hands and people get to use them and have better understanding. So I don't know if there are anybody who has question now. So I will just okay. So I don't need any question. If you have any question, you can just unmute yourself and then just answer one or two questions. Okay, seems we don't have question now. All right, so in the absence of no question, we'd like to bring this meeting to an end. Thank you for showing up. This session continues every week on Tuesday. So if there is any topic you would want us to talk about, there's any area you want us to talk about, you can always suggest. Then we'll plan it into a week, and then we might pick it up and use it for our next training. Okay. Thank
Sir,
you
thank you very
very
much,
much. Is someone
sir.
talking?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Oh, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for this evening section. Can you hear me, sir?
Ambassador Sam, I wish I can hear you right now, but I can't just hear you. You are
Thank you.
talking, but I can't hear you. Can anybody hear you? For some reasons, I can't.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me now?
Oops, I still can't hear you. So I still can't hear you. I don't know why. I
Okay.
don't know why.
I guess you can hear me now, sir.
I don't know why I can't hear you. Okay.
See, investor. See your guy.